What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reviewing and breaking down The Flash Season 8, Episode 5. So the episode starts off with a scene at the West house where Barry is reacting to Joe being alive. Barry explains to Joe, all the stuff about Reverse Flashpoint, how Thawne did everything like that. But then something else happened that I really did not expect whatsoever. Damien Dark appeared, and it seemed at first that he was somehow resurrected as well when Barry changes the timeline back to normal. But then we find out Damien is still going to be erased. But I still thought that was a pretty cool scene. As then we see Thawne invade CCPD, defeating all the officers. But then Mia Queen's Green Arrow shows up to face Thawne, which that was pretty cool. We also find out that Mia was looking for William, so the person that Mia's doing all this for is William, and we find out that Thawne is finally being erased from the timeline. All the times we've seen Thawne be erased from the timeline, it's looking like, again, this time he's being erased instead of Barry in that Reverse Flashpoint. And because Thawne's being erased from the timeline, Thawne ends up asking Barry to help save him. So then Team Flash locks up Thawne as we find out that if Thawne dies here, then Thawne can't come back at all, which I really didn't expect. I'm assuming they're still going to find some way to bring Thawne back, whether that's like a younger version of Thawne or something along the lines of that. I think it's definitely there's definitely going to be another Reverse Flash. But anyways, then Mia explains that she's been looking for William for 2 years and she hasn't been able to find him. And also Thawne finds out that he has 2 hours to live, as Thawne also talks a bit about the past with Caitlin, like about, when he was pretending to be Wells, and then, Caitlin comes to the conclusion that she wants to let Thawne die. So I thought that in particular was a very, very good scene right there between Thawne and Caitlin. Then Barry asks Thawne why he created a Reverse Flashpoint, asking what he ever did to Thawne. Then Thawne explains that in Thawne's time, Barry basically stole Thawne's thunder, pretty much, I guess you could say. Thawne was meant to save some people. He was meant to be the hero, and then Barry comes along, and he is seen as the hero instead of Thawne, and then Thawne is humiliated, so that's why he became this villain. But then when Barry asks Thawne what he'd do if Barry ends up saving his life, Thawne said he'd basically just keep trying to kill Barry. Then Despero appears and tells Barry that Armageddon was prevented in the future, as last episode Despero obviously time traveled to the future to see what happened with Armageddon. But Despero does say that Thawne was still there in the future, and then Team Flash agrees to let Thawne die until Joe finds out that Barry already found a way to save Thawne, and he gets really mad at Barry, saying that you should be able to save anyone no matter who they are. And how Barry could save Thawne would be taking away Thawne's speed permanently. Then Despero appears once again, and he doesn't agree with Barry at all with saving Thawne. So a fight between Barry and Despero then break out at the same time as Mia, who is being controlled by Despero, also wants Thawne to die. So she stops Team Flash from protecting Thawne, but eventually she gets out of the trance. So Despero is trying to destroy the city just so that Thawne will die, but Team Flash finds a way to harness enough energy to stop Despero by giving Barry his gold boots. The gold boots are what, basically saved the day from Despero, and finally we have the gold boots. It only took 8 seasons, but it is very, very cool to see. And yeah, Barry is then able to stop Despero. But then Thawne is just about to be erased from existence, but then Barry does it. He saps Thawne of his speed. However, Thawne was not a fan of that at all, saying that his speed was his life. So now Thawne has another reason to hate Barry. If he ever does end up getting his speed back, that's going to be a very interesting storyline right there. Then Damien Dark shows up and, thanks Barry and talks to Joe in his final moments, and he gets to see his daughter Nora one final time because of that time stone he has. And then at the end, we see a picture in CCPD from 2014, and it shows Bart and Nora suddenly appear in the picture, obviously foreshadowing that the next episode, where the two of them will end up back in 2014 somehow. So yeah, guys, that was about it for the episode. Now, in regards to Reverse Flash, we do know that he is in Argus, they said. But something else interesting, you guys know who else is in Argus? Bloodwork is in Argus, so I don't know if they're sort of trying to foreshadow like a little bit of a Red Death teaser, maybe Reverse Flash and Bloodwork combined to create Red Death or something like that. Obviously, Reverse Flash doesn't have his speed, so I don't know exactly how they could pull that off. But he is still alive, so they definitely do have some future plans for him. So I'm gonna be making some theory videos, just trying to think about what exactly they might have in store for Reverse Flash in the future of the show. And yeah, the next episode of The Flash, that being episode 6, will not appear until March, so we have a ways to wait until then. But we do have Superman and Lois starting up pretty soon here in a couple weeks, so that should be pretty cool to see. But yeah, I'd say that's about it, guys, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.